Hello, everyone. Ian Iliona here. Another day in not Los Angeles, San Francisco, or as close to it as I can possibly get because it's really expensive here. Awkward turtle. Yesterday was both exciting and liberating, but also so emotionally draining. My experience with the VA, and they always love to give you a questionnaire of how was your visit? How was your visit to the VA? And my visit to the VA was just traumatic. Traumatic, traumatic, traumatic. And they ignored my medical directives, which is against the code of medical ethics. And I could always pursue that. But instead, I said, no, there's a better way. And the better way is to just say maybe VA medical care is substandard care. Maybe VA medical care has always been substandard. So if I take care of my own health to the best of my ability, maybe I won't need to turn to them for help because I did not receive that today. It was just PTSD trigger after PTSD trigger after PTSD trigger, and yeah, that's very personal to me. Very personal to me. But I just felt uncomfortable the whole entire time. The whole entire time, and they ignored my medical directives. Regardless, I have to talk about the future. The future of California. Starting with agriculture and moving to energy production. Energy production in California should be limitless and free. To that end, I'm going to email, make phone calls, and I guess travel to state capitals if I have to in order to make this happen, to free all California people from that fucking electric bill that has been robbing robbing good decent citizens whose only error was to say there is no other way. I do it every month. There is no other way. That's how we deal with bills. We just say, well, I did it yesterday, so you know what, I have to do it again the next day. And I understand maybe, something like food, maybe, maybe, but I'm starting to question even that. I'm starting to question how in America, but specifically in California, we allow food waste. Allow it at all. If that food was going to be chucked in a bin and then put into a landfill to rot, why not have someone intercede and say, is it fresh? Is it nutritious? Can you give it to people? End food waste in California and give as many subsidies to the American farmers, at least in California. With my American Farmer Protection Act, I know. Find your representative Yeah, you're looking at them. Well, them. Sometimes I misgender myself because I don't want to limit myself by saying I'm just a he, him, because the nurturing, the protective nature, sure, I could say that's the masculine side of me, but probably not. There's nothing fiercer than a lioness trying to protect their cubs. And there are a lot of cubs, otters, and bears that need my protection. So here I am, a werewolf, trying very, very hard to deal with as many PTSD triggers as possible to guide them away from a bad deal. And it's a bad deal to live in California and not get the full California. And what the full California is, I don't even know, but it's something better than this. It's something better than endless pollution, poor health, and being robbed by bills that should have been done away with years ago when we figured out, oh yeah, that sun, yeah, you can just put a panel and just take care of it that way. Or you could just have free energy throughout the city. And I think that's where I'm going to take California. So I'm going to apply for a permit, and because it's the will of the entire people. I'm not going to say just free energy for everyone. If you don't want it, if you want to pay a bill because that's just how you've been raised, good for you. That's not how I want to raise my family eventually when I find the right person. So, what we're going to do in California is there will be a central hub where you can come, bring your DC battery, get that recharged, because yes, there is a committee for electric vehicle charging. So if that's the case, well, you need to think about expanding that to other things, because people run their entire house and they leave that still running. So if that is the case, why not reduce energy consumption and also move past it to a point where it's no longer an issue, where it's no longer destructive, is the best way to put that. When it's not sourced from petroleum based or fracking or environmental destruction. So there will be a central building where people will come, bring your DC battery, get that charged up, have limited hours, and you just go about your day. Let's say it's about 2 to 3 hours of open time. You come, you get that taken care of, and your energy consumption is taken care of for the day. If you need more, guess what? That grid is still going to be there for now. For now. I say for now because when you start telling people, hey, isn't there like an off grid solution that's just free? They'll say, oh, okay, sure, I'll join in. That'll take a while, but I feel confident that if you teach people a vital skill like saving money, budgeting, but even budgeting is, you don't budget for being robbed. You don't frame it as that. You don't frame the electric companies as gold digging little bitches that just want to drain your wallet dry. And they will sell you on, well, you want to watch Netflix, you want to watch some Apple TV, you want to watch some Amazon Prime. Oh, your cell phone, you want to make your cell phone charged all times. That refrigerator, oh, if your food went bad, what would you do? How about you just have free electricity? Free electricity. So your refrigerator will always be running. If there's a blackout because of a storm or an earthquake or whatever fucking fire emergency that this state continually has, you can say, yeah, they burned down the entire power lines from here to the street over. But guess what? I still have power. Think, people, think. It's not just the saving of money, it's the peace of mind that you still have some autonomy in the face of emergencies, in the face of crisis. So yeah, I'm gonna write it down all nice and simple for the California state legislature, but that makes a lot more sense. Let's step into the future because I'm sick and tired of living in a third world nation. I have to say this, I'm an American. I'm just going to be hard on America now. I'm going to be hard on America, harder than your president is sometimes, because that's just who I am. I'm the type of person who is honest, and I'm honest when I say I am ashamed to have to live in a country that doesn't have universal electricity, while other countries are having universal electricity. Whether or not they're charging for it or they're just giving it away for free, who knows? But they're heading into the future, and I don't want to see this country left behind. So, independent path. Is that a business? Could you profit over that? Probably. I'm not that kind of person. I believe in socialism. I believe in socialism. I don't agree that everything has to be a capitalist nightmare. If you want designer jeans, good for you, bro. Good for you. Show off those man cakes all you like. If you just want to keep your lights on, let's just provide that for you. If you want to plug in a toaster and make yourself a sandwich, you shouldn't have to say, well, if I do that, then I might be over $2 that would make me completely destitute and I wouldn't be able to afford rent. You see, the idea that they chip away at your humanity, they chip away at your self-esteem with these staggering prices for things that should be free is wrong. It's always been wrong. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you have to say, I am worth something. I am worth more than how I'm living my life. By making electricity free in California, you are sending a clear message to other Californians that they have value. They're not just machines or slaves, they have value. And what are they going to do? What are they going to do with that extra money once you start saying electricity is free? They might spend it. I can't talk about everything with my new office. I won't. But what I can say is that it surprised me how empty it is in the entrepreneur lane. Americans are brilliant. They come up with new ideas every single day, and it takes extreme levels of courage, confidence to say, I want to embark on something new. I look around this office that, I purchased for myself, and for me, it's lovely because I have PTSD from military sexual trauma. So the the peace and quiet is fantastic. I had some guy like sneak past me. Like it's wow. I swear, California is slowly learning the way of the ninja, and I'm okay with that. So that was kind of funny. But either way, like one guy besides myself in this entire fucking floor, like what the fuck? Yeah, I know. It was like super, super early in the day. Was it? Uh, Not really. Well, either way, the idea that corporate America is just shrinking into large conglomerates. You got your Walmarts, your Apples, your Googles, but then everything else is just falling apart. America is falling apart, and no one's fighting for it. I hate the country. I really fucking hate it. But I don't hate the people. I hate the fact that they tortured me, but I don't hate the people. I pity them. I pity them because, it takes cowards afraid of a future that would sexually abuse an American citizen like that. Which is why the United Nations is investigating the United States for it. That's not how you treat a genius, is it? I looked around that office and I said, there is space for more people. I mean, personally, I like the space, but there is space for more people. There is space for people to do more with their lives. The idea that your income is small, everyone takes a job. Everyone takes a job in some form or fashion. And then they get a paycheck from that job, and then they look at it and say, why is it so small? And maybe it's because I had an amazing father who worked two or three jobs, but he instilled in me this idea that you can't just be one thing and expect to provide for yourself and your family. You can't just be one thing. And Americans, they love what you see is what you get. Wizzy week. They like that because it's easy. It's easy to say, I put on a uniform and I'm a policeman, or I put on a chef hat and I'm your chef. They don't like the idea that, well, yeah, you can be a policeman, but maybe you should be a community outreach leader. Maybe you should have a second job where you do that, where they don't just say, do that on your off time. It's like, well, no, you should be paid for it, but that is your second job. And any other person should be able to say, Okay, well, some of those state and federal jobs and city jobs, like policemen, kind of have to be shared with civilian people. There is so much crime going on in the world, and there's never enough policemen. There's never enough eyes. There's never enough just vigilance. Maybe it's because no, I can't even say it's because I'm a veteran, but I'm hyper vigilant for situations that are just off. But I was like that before that because I came from a state where shit happened all the time. All the time. It was a terrible state, which is why I left. Some people miss it. I will never miss you. New York, I will never miss you. Never. Not even to do Broadway will I miss you. Because your city fucking terrorized its people. You have Homeland, you have ATF, you have CIA, FBI, all there, and then every single time there was an issue, it was, well, why the fuck are you even there? And that attitude of we'll just put layers of bureaucracy and not layers of community doesn't sit well with me. So I left your fucking state to join this one where these people are annoying as fuck. Because they constantly want to get a feel on you, a feel. So they will do anything to get you to fucking talk or to just cajole you into just manipulation. Let's just call it what it is. I go to have my weight done and I'm staring at a female soldier. And I was sexually abused by a female airman. So yeah, that's just me. I have issues. I admit that I clearly have military sexual trauma. But it seemed like they knew that. And I'm pretty sure if I actually subpoenaed the records for the cameras, I would see when exactly did you put that poster there? When? Was it always there? Or did that poster be put there right before I had to be there? I'm asking a lot of questions here. I really, really am. Because I am in a situation now where I can't just say fuck off to every woman that I come across because some women now work for me. So if you work for me, I'm not going to treat you poorly. I'm just going to be adamant you don't touch me. You don't enter my personal space. I won't enter yours. We'll be real cool about it. But you work for me. So if you work for me, there's a certain well, if you do have to talk to me, I guess don't shout across the entire room or the building. Come and speak to me, say what you have to say, and be on your way. But I guess I have to say things like that because as I was taking public transportation to leave, it was really interesting that the way that the bus was set up, let's just call it what that is. There was a woman at either end, and I had to squeeze by them. And they do a lot of that lately of, well, women are going to have to squeeze by you. And I'm just going to talk about my PTSD for a second because it was scary and traumatic, but I had to speak as loudly as possible and say, keep your hands at your sides. Don't grab me. Don't grab my animals. None of that. None of that at all. Because my animals are my prosthetics, my service animals are my prosthetics. I expect a lot of them. They're not cute, they're not cuddly. I mean, she is stunning, but you're not really supposed to say that. She's stunning. She's I can say that because I have that privilege. Because I have to look at her all the time. I mean, she is wonderful. She is wonderful. So is the other one. He's he's there. But there are cameras. There are cameras. And if you do have to come close to me, I'm gonna have to film you. So be prepared for that. Because there seems to be some sort of thing where if I'm trying to take an elevator, people are trying to jump onto it at the same exact time. Like really rushing in order to take the elevator with me. And no, that's a no. That's just no. I am here in California to try and take it to the next level, to try and bring it into a future faster. Because these are things that would have happened maybe 50 years, 100 years down the road. People talk about flying cars, and just like, if you really wanted flying cars, you would have had flying cars. Everyone who wanted a flying car didn't want a flying car. They just didn't. There was no demand for it whatsoever. Free energy, free clean energy. I'm pretty sure there's a demand for it. And if not, then there will be, because your money is precious to you. I mean, me personally, I spend it on hot thoughts that like to show their booty holes to me, because I'm daddy and I enjoy those things. And legally, if you're on OnlyFans and you want to show me your booty hole, come to me and let's make a deal there. The price of Florida bussy is just so cheap, and you don't even have to fucking fly down to Florida to get it too. Thank you, internet. Like I said, I'm an honest person. You find a hottie on fucking Instagram, and that hottie says, "I would like to show you my booty hole," and I say, "Fuck yeah, you will. Show that to daddy. Show it to daddy," and they do. Supply and demand. That's how that works. But yeah, the price of electricity is is staggering. It's just staggering. And it's the one thing that holds us back, that we can really do something. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I must be allergic from all the pussy rubbing on me today. There was a lot. There was a lot. Mm. And not any cocks. Like, I think I got like one non-binary guy to like wink at me suggestively, but that was it. Like, is it the beard? Like, what is it? I cannot get a guy to talk to me. Oh, oh well. I will cry. I will cry over the fact that my love life is so fucking sad that California once again had to send me a sexual surrogate because I was so fascinated with the idea of virtually having sex with people because I am an emotionally damaged person. The cock was like this large though, so I mean, thank you. I mean, thank you. Is that what you say when the state decides to send you a hot guy? But could you send me a hot guy whose semen tasted better? Because his semen just did not taste that nice. I mean, I drank it up because, yeah. But it just didn't taste that nice. I taste my own. Like, I eat super fucking healthy. I stand by my product. I stand by it. Free electricity is super, super important. And also, California agriculture. It's a business. It's a business that needs help. It needs guidance during this crisis of climate change. Not everyone has agreeable land to farm on, but that's still a large tract of land. Just because the soil isn't that good doesn't mean that you still can't be a farmer. The idea that hydroponics is something that you just do in space is a little archaic. What we need to do is, well, what I intend to do, since I guess this is what I do now. I'm going to sit down with as many California farmers and offer them a choice. The choice of every avenue toward restoring their farm to solvency or agrivoltaics. Grow, but then also have a separate byproduct of the growing process of a solar panel or wind power that offsets the cost, which you can fold back into your own business to upgrade it or to deal with certain environmental changes, locusts, fungi, bacterial infections, viral infections, just low demand because another person has the same product. These are things that you can weather the storm when you have a little bit of extra money, and the income of generating large amounts of electricity is quite rewarding. Maybe securing some contracts for wholesale to private offices, restaurants. These are things that you can do. Trying to expand that American farmer into the future. One last issue to address: Department of Education. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. But the Democratic Party has been all over my email. And I just don't have the heart to tell, them that I'm a socialist. So fuck off. But I received an email I think it was like yesterday, but it was an email from like Sandy Hook legislature, whatever. And as moving as the particular drama is, and I say drama because it's it's a play. It's a play that America puts on. They put on a sad face when kids are being shot in schools, but they don't care. They don't care at all because if they did, they would make systemic change. They would understand that it's that fucking building itself. Because I'm reading this email and they're like, and you could double your gift to them. It's like, I'm sorry, gift to what? Gift to what? Because any money that I give to whoever's asking for money for Sandy Hook is not going to bring those kids back at whatsoever. So we can stop that nonsense. Those people are suffering. And they're not the only ones who suffer. Other families suffer because this is just a copycat thing after a copycat thing because it's a meme virus, which is something the CDC does not cover because they think it's beneath them to actually do their job, but I don't. I think it's actually important to talk about how gun violence is contagious because it's not about mental illness, it's about power. It's about power. It should be about family. Taking the time to raise your children properly and to be more involved or ask for more involvement. I'm not a parent. Clearly, I'm not. I'm a daddy, so I have a bunch of hot twins, but I am not a biological father. But if I were, I would just pull them out of this school system. I would shut down those schools. I would go to those schools and say, we are going to reduce class size significantly. Significantly. If you are a genius, guess what? Just stop working. If you are smarter than someone at NASA, you should be probably not working at NASA. Come work for me at Mars now. But even so, if you did want to go for the agencies, whatever, go do that. If you wanted to be a doctor, go do that. Don't stay a minute longer in the school system because they are wasting your time. See, my dog agrees. It's the only opinion that matters to me. By shutting down the schools here in California, we open up brand new avenues for internships, for specialized educational care for those who need extra assistance. The idea that, oh, kids today have ADHD, instead of saying, you mean your kids are alive? You mean that they're active, hyperactive, because they're alive? Huh. Imagine that. With specialized educational care with reduced class size, kids of that kind of affliction, I say affliction, but I don't really mean it. I just say you're alive. Could be met with, all right, well, maybe you do sport. Maybe you do sport while you learn math. Maybe you are on a treadmill while you're learning history. Maybe you're playing video games while you're learning biology and you're being quizzed on it. Let's grow with the times. Come on. Close these fucking schools already. It's not that the kids are getting dumber, it's that they intuitively know this, but it's hard to test because you test them at the wrong times. If you tested someone on the inner workings of the human body after playing a game of Call of Duty, I guarantee they could tell you the innards. What is the point of games like Roblox and Minecraft if it's not to say you can just build anything, you can explore, but there is a downside of there's still dangers out there. And why are there still dangers out there? Because we allow these buildings, these institutions to warp our children, to break them as hard as they can till they're just shells that wake up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning to sit in front of a desk or to put on a uniform and fake a smile while they're just dead inside. Now, I know you always want your children to be able to provide for themselves, but you really want them to be happy, right? Get them out these schools. Let them learn happiness in several ways. Let them learn it through community outreach, learning civics, learning that when you are 18, yes, you can join the army, the navy, or the coast guard, and you can smoke a cigarette, you can vote, but you can also be a part of your community. You're chronologically considered an adult, but there is no practice really. I mean, sure, there's school elections and you can be the president of a club. I guess that's the same exact thing as, I don't know, organizing civil defense or choosing ordinances for alternate side parking or writing a permit for a new stadium or arena. No, 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 no. How can we say that at 18 you're an adult if you have no practice, that biologically everything that you were supposed to have done? I mean, you were supposed to have had kids by that time. You were supposed to had your own place by that time. That's how we've lived our lives for millennia. That, you know, 30 was a gift. A gift. Oh my god. So much disease, so much war. And now we live in a time where there's less of that. But if you're so broken because of these institutions, because of schools. You might live to your fucking 60 or older, but the quality of life has just degraded. I believe in quality of life. So, yes, do I feel deeply for the people who were affected by Sandy Hook? Yes, obviously. But why aren't we learning from that? Why aren't we doing something about that? Why aren't we changing? Because we need to make a change in order to see a change. If we say that person goes to school and then person becomes a school shooter, there's school in both premises there. So there's something wrong with the schools. There's something wrong with schools in America. It is squandering the talent of our brightest minds. And if it isn't school violence, it's drugs. If it isn't drugs, it's pregnancy. I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world to have a, a pregnancy when you're young. You're supposed to have a pregnancy when you're young. I mean, I'm watching Lisa Edelstein on 911 Lone Star, and she has to have a, a late in her illustrious sexual career pregnancy because Rob Lowe was giving her that down and low. So when that happens, and it just, I mean, she was probably giggling, and just like it was so tight and so tight, and then Rob Lowe just like he tried to hold back, but that man seed of Rob Lowe, the handsome actor Rob Lowe, just squirted metaphorically into Lisa Edelstein, the actress on the show 911 Lone Star, and that's how a baby was made. Or she could have had that same child probably a lot earlier. There should be options. We need to upgrade medical care. Oh my God. I am so busy. I'm supposed to be 100% retired and everything, but I mean, how can you really retire when America could, probably just do a little bit better with some guidance from a genius? But yes, I think I said in the last podcast something about a cure for all disease and how we kind of need that. We need a way to quickly diagnose things and to, I'll say it, just remove the stigma of being involved in your own healthcare. My experience with the VA today was horrific, but yeah, telehealth. Telehealth is the future. Medical care is super super expensive, super expensive. What is it really? What is it really? Okay, is it diagnosing serious illnesses? Of course, of course, of course. But shouldn't it also be preventing it? Shouldn't it also be maintaining a quality of life for people? I told my doctor that I, just wanted some assistance with a few things, and then didn't ask any follow-up questions whatsoever. And they ignored my medical directives. So shame on them. Shame on them. How different would it be if I had a dialogue with my doctor through just a questionnaire? Fill it out, give as much detail as possible, and then send it in an email or something a bit more secure than email. I walked into the VA and these people couldn't even be bothered to clean the coffee off the floor. Now I know that the people in the VA, they're just veterans, so if you give substandard care to them, I mean, they're only the nation's heroes. It just doesn't sit well with me. It really doesn't. California has a lot of money. It really does. And I guess veterans don't have to move here. They don't. But if they do, they should receive high standard care. They should have clean facilities at all times. Do I think they should have, electronic massage chairs and iPads and blah 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 blah? Probably, but maybe not. Maybe they should just have more ergonomic chairs. We could start there. So I did say before that I wanted to start my own healthcare program, but I have more impetus to do so because if you don't offer people something different, they'll just be stuck with those uncaring people. And in a way, I guess San Francisco or whatever the fuck that VA was, whatever the fuck that was trying to chase people out of that VA. Because how could you see that mess and say, yeah, I would go back to that. Yeah, I would trust you with my medical care. No, it's obviously not. I trust myself with my medical care. Have a vested interest in keeping myself healthy, keeping myself happy. They don't. And that's it's a little sad to say. So the idea that there should be pop-up health clinics throughout the city is something that I will be proposing to the California State Legislature. Healthcare has to be as easy and accessible as possible. And if you never ask for these things, then they don't change. I think healthcare goes beyond just a physical building, though. Health is, I'm sorry, I have an upset stomach. Because I'm thirsty for semen. God damn it, Rob Lowe. Why'd you have to square in Lisa Edelstein? I am right here. I am right here. Right here. So, see, that man is hot, okay? He is older, but he is so hot, which makes him even hotter. I mean, yeah, I know his son is supposed to be the one that you look at because he's gay and all that, but I look at Rob Lowe and I just say, give me what you were given to Lisa Eccleston because, like she started ovulating at her age because of what you were putting down. You were slapping those cheeks, you were pulling that hair, Rob Lowe. Like, I don't know what you were doing, but you got that voodoo that I want to do. So teach me, bro. Teach me. But yes, these are things that maybe should be a part of healthcare. Maybe you should have more sexually liberated instructors in positions to educate people. Sexual health is extremely important for your self esteem. I mean, you never think of how beautiful and glowing you are like until you've had a face full of man butter. So maybe you should learn how to like really make it squirt squirt. So I'm not saying it should be like a state sponsored event, but I do live in San Francisco. If they have Folsom Street Fair thing, I don't know. Maybe they should just have more sex positive events throughout the year, like my Turkish oil wrestling, which I am trying so hard to find contestants for a prize. If you live in the San Francisco area and would like to sign up to be a Turkish oil wrestler for, I don't know, I don't know if I can find a public space for it by Christmas, but maybe a private space, and I'll sell tickets. So if you are gay and would like to see some Turkish oil wrestling, or if you're straight and you would like to see some Turkish oil wrestling, please let me know because I am looking to put on an event of Turkish oil wrestling for true fans of that sport. It's hard in all the right ways. And also like super fucking athletic too. Like, wow. Anyway, that's all I have. I have a lot to do today. I have to write proposals for all of the California programs which I would like to start here, and then send them to representatives. So I guess I will call it a night and I will see you on the next podcast.